Welcome to the Anime Den. This time around we're doing something a little bit different. Normally of course I do video reviews, but this time I'm doing a video comparison. And why? Because, well, I was at the markets the other day with my boys, and we've sort of the old flea market sort of thing. We stumbled across someone who was selling, well, bootleg Lego. And I've never really stumbled across bootleg Lego before. It's sort of something obviously that's not new, but it's sort of new in our area. So for a bit of shits and giggles sort of scenario, we thought we'd actually buy them and have a quick look. And they're quite interesting. So we bought 3 different ones. So you can see there's a Star Wars figure. There was also, of course, it doesn't want to stand too well, an Iron Man figure. And last but not least, a Wolverine figure. So we can get these to stand a little bit better. Not really. Now, initially when you look at them, they look like Lego. And the imagery on the front of the box is quite good. I mean, there's a few blemishes straight up, but rather interestingly, the reason why, part of the reason for getting these, I see if I could pan out a little bit so you can see all 3, was that they do look like Lego screen caps, and they really are. I mean, that is a screen cap from a Lego video. And it even has the nice little Iron Man bit down there, of course. All intents and purposes, other than the fact that, of course, on the box it's got this rather interesting S as opposed to a Lego logo. You'd be hard pressed to think it's not Lego. The price even on them was very similar to Lego, and certainly even when you pan around, they just look like Lego, because they're not, they're bootlegs. And there's a few things that give it away straight up. I mean, obviously they've tried to imitate the Lego piece on the front here. You know, they've got the ages 5 to 12. They've got some form of serial number. They've put the instructions for assembling the figure on the side, and of course Lego never really does that. But of course, yeah, and then because then on the back they've got the variant figures that you can get in this range, and half those figures have never been made by Lego, so we know they're bootlegs. I mean, other ones that give it away is, of course, yeah, this is quite blatantly, looking at the image on the front, it's a Republic Trooper. It's actually from, the image is a very interesting image, because it's a Republic Trooper holding a lightsaber, which has obviously been ripped from somewhere, and of course it actually lists as Commander Cody. And of course anyone who's into Lego knows Commander Cody never really looks like that in the series. And of course it's got a building block series. It actually tells us who makes it. A company called Lili or Lele, take your pick. But of course it has Star Wars. So these guys are really just looking to wind up Lego and pretty much everyone they work with. And of course on the back we get an image again of the trooper supposedly sized, as well as a proper Lego clone trooper, again holding a lightsaber. So it's very interesting, and because down here it actually shows you the accessory pack you should get with it, which is of course a blaster and 2 lightsabers. Worse still is of course the superheroes X-Men. It even has X-Men down the bottom there. It shows the Lego X-Men. The image itself down here actually shows a Lego X-Men with Wolverine with his claws that fit into his hands. Because on the side it shows a rather interesting montage of DC and Marvel superheroes united. So of course again it's that traditional sort of Chinese knockoff. Again, ages 5 to 12. So when you open it up, and unfortunately my boys have already built them, so we'll take Wolverine first. And we're going to do a comparison because I actually have a Wolverine. So let's get a little extra hand. Each of these boxes seem to come with an extra hand. So we open it up and we get a character bio card. One of these. Nice little character bio card. On the back it has superheroes. When you open it up, if you haven't opened this one up before, because they're bio cards, so of course we've got Wolverine, remember. This is the Wolverine we've got. So what card do we get? We get Spider-Man, Captain America, and Thor. But no Wolverine. But that's okay, because we get Wolverine in the box. And he comes on this rather interesting base. This is the superheroes base. We'll be a bit closer to see. So it says superheroes, collect them all. Herd series, Sheng Wan. Now I don't know. I mean, if you're going to knock it off, at least go to the trouble of actually putting the character's name on it, as opposed to just a blank generic. And because this is the Wolverine, so this is our wonderful Wolverine. And we'll take his accessories off. We'll bring him up, have a quick look. Which, let's see if we can do it from there. We'll try and pan in. It might be better than trying to look at my horrible, horrible hands. and I don't think we're going to be able to pan in enough. Maybe we will. Get him focus. Focus. Oop. Let's come down. There we go. Wolverine. Now we can already see that, of course, he's got this black. I don't know if you can see it too well on the camera, because you've got the black Wolverine inspired logo, you know, uniform. It doesn't look too bad. His hands are blue for some reason. Sadly enough, it is, of course, a single-sided face, which, of course, Marvel generally nowadays do double-sided faces. The legs is where you can tell the big difference. I don't know if we're going to be able to see this on the camera too well. Focus. You'll see that the bottom of the legs there, they don't have that Lego cut across. And you can actually see them quite well now, can't we? So you see it's all black. There's no real sort of, just, you know, the X in the belt's about the only differentiation of colour. And of course he's got that very heavy black mutton chop face with the angry look. So that's Wolverine, because how does Wolverine compare to, say, oh, and this is his claws. I don't know if we're going to be able to see them too well. Let's try and get them into view a bit. Where are we? Focus. So it's more of a glove than the 3 claws that they show on the box. Focus. Come on. No, it's not going to focus. It can't pick it up. There we go. Now remember, on the box it shows Wolverine holding the Lego claws, just like this Wolverine. In fact, we've got one over here. So that's the Lego Wolverine. So side by side comparison. Oh, let's have a look. Let's get both the Wolverine's hands off first. Oh, let's get a bit closer. Oh, let's get the camera a bit better. Oh god, I'm not doing too well tonight. So you see the real first big difference. You know, the Lego Wolverine's got a blue uniform as opposed to a black uniform. The belt's a little bit short. The actual figures are almost the same size. The Lily rip-off's a little bit chunkier, but you know, certainly the Wolverine from Lego has got a blue instead of black trim. On the back, the chase around's almost the same. Again, it's just more or less the height. Obviously, the big difference being is, of course, the Wolverine face. So that's the angry Wolverine face. So you get the 2 faces on the Lego Wolverine, and the mutton chops actually stop on the Lego Wolverine before the mouth work, because that one cuts around all the way. And the other thing too is the hair lines up with the Lego one a lot better than it does with the Lily one. And of course the hand, obviously the claws are the big difference. So that's, let's see if we can get into focus, that's of course the Lego claws. So that's the claws we would hope to have seen in the rip-off version, but of course it never made it. But they are remarkably well made for a bootleg. But they do make small minor mistakes, and that's those small minor mistakes that make them so hilarious. Because that's, again, we'll do a side by side. Hang on, let's get this together. So of course, bringing him back into, that's of course the Lily rip-off Wolverine versus of course the Lego Wolverine. And certainly you can see the Lego Wolverine looks so much better. And yet this is $6. This was $6 retail to buy from the bootleg seller. So they're not cheap for what they are, but they are rip-offs. And it can none so more than when we get to the next 2 figures. So we have Iron Man. And again, of course, there's the Iron Man box. And it does show that he does come with some form of gantry with him. And again, with the figure you get a couple of spare bits, including some coloured red discs. I'm not entirely sure what they're for. And again we get some character trading cards, or bio cards, which we'll want to look at it. And these ones are actually marked on the back using, of course, the Marvel Movies logo with, of course, Iron Man. Let's pan out a bit just so we can see him a bit better. There we go. And again, we've got War Machine, but because it's not called War Machine, it's just called Iron Man, but it's very obviously that it's of course War Machine. We've of course got Iron Man himself. At least they got one right in this one. And of course, yet another Iron Man. So we actually got two different Iron Man cards. Let's just get him back to there. Now this figure actually comes with, again it comes with the base, which we expect. Since the other superhero came with a base. And it comes with this, I suppose it's supposed to be a gantry, I really don't know. It's a nice little gimmick, but it really doesn't do anything. And again, just like the Wolverine one, it says of course collect them all, Herd series from Shenwan, or Shengwan. And of course here's Iron Man. Now one of the interesting things they've done is they've actually, looks like they've added this weird backpack with claw. I don't know if it's meant to be some sort of War Machine thing or what, but it seems to not really do anything. It's just for show and it doesn't really work. And of course, obviously, like Iron Man from Marvel, from Lego, he comes with of course those little clear tabs for his to look like boosters. And of course, like the Wolverine, let's get it to again. That's the big tell. It's those feet. Whoop. Those feet's not, the feet not finishing. And again, it's the gold painted armor. So it's again not too bad. But again, when we match it against the Marvel version, we'll just get the Marvel version over here. We'll try and keep the bits separate so we don't taint our Lego Marvel versions. So it is a slightly different suit. But of course, you can see that they've literally just knocked off the head sculpts for the helmets. The bodies are the same height. Yeah, that's the older armour, but yeah, they're no different. The big difference with this one is, of course, when you open the mask up, which was take the mask off, you get, let's get back, stand damn you, on your base. Iron Man, underneath the Iron Man mask, is Iron Man in a mask. Where of course if you take off the Lego version, again we'll separate the helmet so we don't get confused, you of course get the Tony Stark head with of course the Tony Stark double print head. So again they've missed the park. And again for $6 it's a pretty big rip-off. But they've missed the ballpark. You got Iron Man with an Iron Man helmet face underneath. It wouldn't have been too hard just to print out some generic face and throw it on. Heck, they could have thrown Wolverine's face in there for all it really matters to make it work. So we'll chuck him out of the way. Get rid of all this rubbish. And we'll do we'll do the Commander Cody. We like the little cough there for the fact that of course this is going to be interesting. So, Commander Cody. Now, there we go. Where are we? Just give me a second to make him stand. Oh, where are we? Let's get him focused in the middle of the frame. So this is, of course, Commander Cody. And again, Commander Cody comes with a gaggle of extra pieces. So the first thing, of course, we get the Commander Cody figure. And yet, of course, we know it's not a Commander Cody figure because we know it's a Republic figure. And that's, of course, the head. So it's not bad. I mean, it's got a head sculpt on it. He's got some scarring. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it in the camera, but, you know, he's got some scarring on the face. Sort of gives you a bit of a look. You know, he's got that blue with a little bit of orange down the front. You know, he's got the knees done. He's got, you know, the colouring on the back. And the helmet, obviously, again, it's a direct rip-off of the Lego version. Now, on the box itself, and you also get, of course, again, the bio cards, and we'll pan back out for that one. we get the Star Wars bio cards. And again, it's probably good for a laugh. Let's see what cards we get. Since apparently we've got a Wolverine and no Wolverine cards. So of course we get Commander Cody. And again, it's showing the Commander Cody figure that they're selling, which is of course actually a Republic Trooper. And then of course we've got a General Grievous, and it doesn't name the character this time around, so it's not going to tell us it's General Grievous, it's just giving us a picture of a General Grievous. We've got this nice little montage card, of course, from Empire Strikes Back, and again, and on the back it's just got Star Wars with the Lele or Lele imagery on it, so, because I don't know what any of this stuff on there means. They give you these cards with no instructions. There's a lightsaber, I don't know, some green looking goop, a thermal detonator and a heart, and it's got like 3 on the green goop. Who knows? And again, sort of some sort of episode 1 appearance sort of, you know, montage card. And again, you know, it's got 1 for the lightsaber, 2 for hearts, so who the hell knows? They don't tell you. And you know, it showed on the box, of course, and we can see this again on the box. Then it comes with, of course, 2 lightsabers and a rifle. And of course, you actually get a wrench, 2 of these grey pistols, or whatever you want, 1 rifle, and 1 blaster. Now the character they're actually tearing to pieces or ripping off is of course the character which came with the Republic versus Sith set, which was of course the Republic Troopers versus Sith Troopers set, which was of course to go with the what was that, the Knights of the Old Republic. And so we can see that that's of course the Republic rifle, and that's of course mimicked by the bootleg rifle, and actually not too bad. They're almost, so on the, where are we, get a focus, so that's the Lego, that's the bootleg, and they, oh god, where are we, and they're almost the same rifles. This is a bit blurry because black and it's hard to see. The only real difference is the Lego one's a lot glossier than the bootleg one. The helmets, and again we'll try and keep it apart. Let's see if we can get this into focus pretty good. Where am I? There we go. So the helmets actually look the same. There's no real variance in the helmets. The only big tell in the helmets is that they're the orange on the bootleg helmet, so we'll try and go a little bit more side on. Can we get a good look? Oh god, it's not my day today, is it? The orange on the bootleg helmet's not in the, there's a bit of a break between the air vent and the orange, where on the Lego one there's no break, and it's a lot thinner than the gaudy sort of non-break on that. So we'll put them to separate sides. Now the Lego version doesn't have a scarred face trooper, and you'll notice that on the vest itself it's got no blue, it's all just black, and as you sort of go down you'll notice that the colouring's all sort of darker and blacker, and there's, you know, on the back, I mean, other than that, you can see that they've obviously got hold of one of the original ones of these and bootlegged it off. But of course it's not Commander Cody. We know this. We know this. Commander Cody doesn't look like that, and I don't know. I haven't got a Cody, I've only got a Rex, so I can't even show you the difference. But it's not a Cody. They couldn't, you know, watch the movies and play the games, they're stupid bootleg bastards. So these are because of the rip-offs. If you see these in the shops, you see the word Lily, don't spend your money, run for the hills, because you're probably not going to get the right shit in the box, and if you do get it, it's probably going to be crap. But, and that's it. It's when you get these, they come unassembled, the actual arms even aren't even on them, you actually got to push the arms in. I mean, they are, when you pull them apart, they do look like Lego. Now, all things aside, You know, you can tell that they've got hold of Lego and they've knocked the moulds off, but they've just such a poor finish on them. You know, look at this black paint, if it'll focus, on the side of this trooper's helmet. You know, just so crap. But anyway, that was my little rant into, of course, bootlegs and all that sort of wonderful stuff. So thank you very much for watching. Again, remember to rate, subscribe, and all those wonderful things. And we'll see you next time.